While a lot of folks look at Knoxville and they tend to stare west, there's a lot growing in the Northeast. And if you want growth without regret, you need to know where that's happening, why it's happening, and what is coming with it. Over the last few years, Knoxville has become one of the quickest places for people to relocate in the entire U.S. And that's not stopping anytime soon. Relocating here is a great opportunity, but not knowing which neighborhoods to be in or where that value is coming from, that can be a real problem. So over the next couple of minutes, we're going to sit here and we're going to walk you through the 5 fastest growing areas in Northeast Knoxville. Hey, we're Mark and Kelli Brewer. We are the Epic Outcomes team by eXp Realty, and we love it here and want to tell you more about what's going on in Knoxville and the surrounding areas. Reach out, give us a call, hit us up on our various different media fronts, and we would love to set up time to chat with you. In the meantime, though, we're going to jump in and talk about these Northeast pockets that are growing quickly here in the Knoxville area and why you need to know what's going on.
Let's talk about Halls. Emory Road corridor area is showing a lot of growth by design. Several of the biggest subdivision approvals listed under Northeast County are tied to roads that feed the Halls, Emory, Loves Creek area. So what does that mean for Northeast Knoxville? That means that they're going to have a lot more retail. However, with that does come more traffic, of course. You're going to have some growing pains. It's a great opportunity for people that might be priced out of that well-established West Knoxville market to go ahead and look and see what's going on over in Northeast Knoxville. It's a great opportunity for you to get in there right now while things are growing up, and then you're going to see a lot of future appreciation. So let's talk about location as well. So there's a lot of newer subdivisions coming online over in Northeast Knoxville, but then it's also a good mix of some more established neighborhoods that may have bigger lots. The newer subdivisions are going to up those price points of those more established neighborhoods. However, it is not going to be as pricey as established West Knoxville. So who is Northeast Knoxville fit for? Well, it's fit for honestly quite a lot of people. If you're a new relocating family, you know, Mark and I also relocated here to Knoxville from Houston, Texas, and it was one of the best decisions we've ever made. So we were in your shoes and we can help you out with that. So if you're a newer relocating family, then Northeast Knoxville is for you. I can specifically speak as well to Fountain City, which is great. Just like anything, what are the trade-offs of that location of maybe Fountain City or Halls? Heads up, developers obviously are looking there. They are building there. And so just like any area that's expanding, it is going to experience some growing pains.
All right, let's jump over to the Washington Pike corridor. Now, Washington Pike is a growth by design corridor. Part of that being you've got brand new construction going in, but you've also got rezoning and redevelopment at the same time. When you add that to the fact that city government is actually looking at growing this area from an infrastructure standpoint, you have all the elements that are going to lead you to real value accretion over time. So why do people want to be in this area? Well, one, because of the newer development in the area, and it's not as focused and as historically developed as the west side, this comes at a better cost. So while you may not get some of the amenities that you're getting on the west side of Knoxville, you are getting access into downtown, the downtown corridor, and other areas of near North Knox that have a lot going on, and clearly, as we're talking about throughout this video, are slated for more development. When you're talking about homes and what to expect in the area, expect some mixed growth. What do you mean by that, Mark? Well, this is what I mean. You're going to see newly platted, larger developments. We're talking about whole neighborhoods that are almost like master plan communities. At the same time, you're going to see spillover demand into some of those older neighborhoods in the area that are likely going to see large-scale reno projects, developers coming back in and bringing homes up to a more modern standard. So those are generally going to be on slightly larger lots and have certain appeal that you may not get in the newer developments. So you're going to have both sides of the coin on that. So really, who are the people that this is going to appeal to the most? Well, you're going to be looking at folks who want access to the growth of amenities that are coming from city core. At the same time, folks who want a little bit of an urban feel because you are close enough that you still have that. And then third of all, people who are looking for solid appreciation, but know that they're on a budget right now and may not be able to get into classic West Side neighborhoods. Well, like anything else, if you're in an area that's growing in value because it is growing, you're going to deal with some infrastructure short-term issues as far as roadways, construction, and large-scale projects taking place. You're also going to have plenty of builders moving in and around you, which means that you're going to be dealing with new homes going up and some of the traffic that comes along with that. The other piece is, while this area is going to be growing from a residential home standpoint, commercial development doesn't always catch up quite as quickly. They want to make sure that things are built out to justify the investments that they're making. So some of your shopping, retail, and restaurants may drag a little bit behind. So you still may be looking to head into town a little bit or into offset areas for some of those shopping opportunities, some of those day-to-day needs that you have. Shouldn't be a long commute, but you may not have it as convenient as you get in more established areas. All right, let's talk about Corryton and East Emory growth. This is one of the more quickly developing areas, and part of it is it's simply a space allocation play. These two areas represent one of the most obvious northeastward pushes for Knox County. A lot of that's going to be driven by buyers who want to be closer into the city, but want more land and less restrictions. A lot of the city's planning and development records show that there is a suburban push in this area, and that comes from zoning and projects that are already in motion or are soon to be in motion. So from a location standpoint, Corryton sits kind of anchored by Emory Road. And if you're not familiar, Emory Road is a primary east-west connector across the northern portion of Knox County. As I said before, this is going to be an area where people who are targeting this are looking for larger land opportunities, a little more privacy, and more of that rural feel without being, an hour outside of Knoxville. So what are you probably going to find in this area? Well, from a home standpoint of what's out there, you are going to find some newer developments on these broader spaced out acreage positions. You will see some custom or semi-custom homes that are done on those larger lots for folks who are looking to come in at a price point that they probably couldn't afford in the more developed areas. And then of course, you're going to see some existing homes on acreage. Now these may be smaller, but those are opportunities to either expand, develop, or knock down and put something up new. Essentially, you're going to get more bang for your buck out here, but with less development and longer commute times. It's a trade-off some people are willing to make, and I think if that's what you're targeting, then this is an area you might want to be looking at. Folks looking at this 37721 zip code are generally going to be seeing slower turnover in this area, but at lower price points than West Knoxville.
We're going to talk a little bit about Rutledge Pike and East Bridge Business Park. This area matters because it is not just residential growth. This is a major commercial growth and industrial park development that brings a lot of jobs to Knoxville. There's going to be tons and tons of a job opportunity over in East Bridge. So this is definitely an area to keep your eye on. Mascot itself isn't a master plan subdivision story. It's more rural, semi-rural living in the orbit of a big employment hub. So the key takeaway from this area is that you're going to be in really close proximity to a lot of the industrial sites, which may not be ideal if you want just like more of a not an industrial vibe. However, if you live this close to an industrial park, it's going to pull a lot of appreciation. So neighborhoods around this area in particular, it's going to be more of a buy and long-term hold type, 5 to 15 years out. They are still really building this up as an industrial area, but once it is built up, there is going to be demand for housing in this area. So if you're an investor and you want to get in early, this would be a great time to kind of start looking around in this area. Also, if you're just a residential home buyer, and you want the appreciation, but more of that rural feel, then this is an area that you should also be looking at.
All right, so we've covered the 5 different areas in Northeast Knoxville that are experiencing the most growth. But what does that mean for you? And how are you supposed to pick the right one? Well, here's a couple of things that you're going to want to keep in mind. One, this is generally considered an affordability play. West Knoxville is kind of the prominent area with some of the best schools, best development, and best shopping. There's no question about that. But the fact of the matter is, the Northeast development is allowing people to step in at lower price points and in many instances get slightly larger acreage positions at a cost that they wouldn't be able to achieve on the west side. In a lot of these Northeast zip codes for Knox, you're going to see actually pretty high turnover rates in the ones that have been developed in a suburban style. In fact, they're going to turn probably a lot faster than most of the rural properties. What does that mean? It means there's a liquid inventory and a good opportunity set to find something that might fit your needs. So where do you run into problems with folks who are considering Northeast Knoxville as a potential destination for them to buy? Well, the first and biggest problem that we have is folks who consider Northeast Knoxville one area. It's really not. These are distinct pockets with different appeals to different buyers, different growth rates, and different appreciation levels. And that's something that you need to consider. You need to understand the micro of the area, not just the macro. And that means focusing in on specific spots and not doing just a broad search across all of it, assuming that it's uniform. Looking at online listings isn't going to tell you how things are changing or where they're going. It's just going to tell you what a house looks like. You need someone who's going to help show you what to expect in that area. So while we talk all the time about how quickly Knoxville is growing, one of the things that you're going to absolutely have to keep a focus on is the fact that not all parts of Knoxville are the same. Taking broad, sweeping views on Knoxville as a whole, or even on major geographic areas, is not going to get you where you need to be. Understand the micro, don't focus so much on the macro, and make sure that you dig in and understand what areas are changing, what value is being brought, and who that's going to appeal to, and then figure out which one of those buyers are you. If you need help doing that, that's what Kelli and I are here for. We are real estate agents. We run Epic Outcomes by eXp Realty, and we would love to sit down and talk with you about your needs and what you're going to find here in the Knoxville market. Let us know. We'd be happy to set up a time. You can get our relocation guide down below. You can ping us, shoot a text to the number on screen. Any one of those works. We'd love to talk with you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to know more, maybe you should check out the next video.